Happy Thanksgiving from Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we're doing a retrospective review of Blood Rage. It's not cranberry sauce.
Directed by John Grissmer, starring Mark Soper, Louise Lasser, and Julie Gordon. This movie's about a boy named Terry who murders somebody at a drive-in and then blames it on his twin brother Todd. It's 10 years later on Thanksgiving, and Todd has escaped from the mental institution that he's been put in, as Terry's been living his life. Well, now that Todd's back, Terry just becomes enraged and starts blaming all the new murders on Todd once again.
I'm not Terry. I'm Todd.
Terry's brother?
This was actually a request from Ren Walker, who stars in Peelers. She says this is the best cheesy B movie that she wanted us to review.
It's not cranberry sauce.
Because this is a retrospective review, there are going to be spoilers, like 30 years old. Deal with it. Let's get on to our likes.
I liked the gore in this film. There was some really good kills, and strangely enough, one of the better practical heads.
Hi.
The face actually looks like the guy.
Yeah, you also have like hands that like move on the ground while they're holding beers. You know, there's some shittier effects like women sliced in half and they look all weird. But for the most part, you're gonna have a good time when it comes to like the slasher aspect of this movie. There's also a variety of weapons, so you're kind of like always waiting to see what's gonna happen. And that leads to the killer. I thought Terry as a killer is hilarious.
That is not cranberry sauce.
And he's just so nonchalant with the way he does things.
I really liked Terry as a killer because he had the look that he was a serial killer. He was actually crazy. Like, you saw him all smiley and goofy, and then he gets this like look of like, I'm just gonna kill you right now in his eyes, and you become terrified. He was just a very good actor, I found, because he was playing innocent Todd.
You're high, aren't you? You always get real quiet when you're high.
And Psycho Terry, and he was flip-flopping back and forth. I also thought he was really funny in just how he was interacting with the rest of the characters.
They did a great job like making sure that Terry's hair was like all prim and proper, and then Todd's hair is just like all straggly, kind of looking like a Dean Ambrose fella. So there's never a moment in the movie that I like mistakenly took one for another, which is great.
And I liked that Terry was like always changing his outfit. He's like, killed you, time to take the top off. Killed you, let's put on a new top. Let's put a little hairspray in our hair. Like, Terry took care of himself to make sure that no one suspected him as a killer.
You know who I did suspect as a killer? The mom.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Same to you, Miss Simmons.
The mom did a great job acting like a complete crazy person, but at the same point, she was just so weird. Everything that she did, from talking on the phone to like the operator pretending like they're people that she's trying to get in contact with, to her just posted up like I do when I'm drunk eating out of the fridge. And just like all of her interactions were just so strange, but the performance was excellent.
This film is definitely campy. It has a certain feel to it that I think people who like B horror movies are going to appreciate.
Another staple of 80s slashers is the soundtrack, and Richard Einhorn nailed it. When we have those dark tones and the music pops in when the killer's on the prowl, it's fucking awesome. For fans of boobs, you have a lot of boobs in this, but not like a ton. Like, I think just enough that you won't be complaining that there's no nudity. Also, when there's nudity, sometimes you have some rack focusing to like the killer's weapon or the killer in the foreground, which is really cool because the cinematography is on point. And I just really like the way that everything was shot in general.
This film actually made me want to go to the drive-in theater.
Why? So you could make out.
The opening credits. Everyone was making out or having sex in the drive-in theater.
I heard that's all you're supposed to do.
But like people were doing it like on the car, in the car.
Front seat, back seat, whatever.
Didn't matter. So I want to go.
I don't know if I'd want to now, knowing there could be potential kids running around with fucking weird axes that I've never seen in my life before.
Well, you know what? You got to blame the idiot for bringing the axe to the drive-in. Like, who does that?
I don't necessarily look in my trunk and say, hey man, if I go to the fucking drive-in, is some little brat gonna run up and steal this weapon out of my trunk and kill me with it? usually not on the top of my checklist of things to do. It's like, did you see the condom guy Ted Raimi in the bathroom? Check. Okay, we're good. Now, what didn't we like? One really weird moment in this movie is some narration. Now, we didn't listen to the commentary, and I'm sure they explained this. Early on in the movie, we have the mom of the kids talking to the psychiatrist.
Patient consultation notes, November 22nd, 1984. Saw Maddie Simmons, Todd's mother, for the first time today.
And they're like narrating the segment, and we thought it was described video because it sounds like they're actually reading the script and all of like the notes that were written, yet like there's people acting and talking, and you can hear their conversation behind the narration, and it's so frustrating.
What? Are you crazy?
Her position on another issue was also somewhat negative.
There's no closed captioning, there's no like subtitles, there's no descriptive dialogue for the hearing impaired. I couldn't find out what the hell was happening, and it just seemed that maybe, just maybe, that psychiatrist sucked at acting, and they just wanted to cover up what they said. And maybe they even changed what happened. Maybe that's what happened, is perhaps there was like a different backstory, because this is the only time where there's exposition, and they just kind of like did a voiceover and said, this is what the movie's gonna be about. And then it never happened for the rest of the film. So that was weird.
My children are not guinea pigs!
My past work with hysterical patients helped me calm her down.
There is a wasted opportunity with the mother character. Yes, she's a great actor, but as for developing her in the story, it just felt off. It felt like we needed something at the end to say she had triplets, Todd accidentally killed son 3 and hit Terry with shrapnel. Because Terry says at one point,
What, are you gonna try and shoot me again, Todd?
they're giving you little Easter eggs. The mom's crazy, Terry's crazy, Todd's normal. They're showing like guns in the drive-in, guns in his room. There could have been something there that tied this all together, but there wasn't. And it was leading up to that. So they either didn't have anything planned or they just dropped the ball completely on this.
I think that they had something planned. They may have even shot it, but there aren't the deleted scenes on the Arrow Blu-ray, and I mean, that's the definitive edition almost every time. So I would bet that the footage is just gone at this point. But they definitely alluded to different storylines without even like trying to bring them all back together. They just cut things in a certain way to try and help you forget that they even mentioned these little bits. Okay, this might not be a dislike, but I thought it was kind of strange that everybody just wanted to bang all the time. Like, everybody just wanted to fuck each other.
And at Christmas, we're gonna be stuck here for a week.
Oh, we'll find something for you to do.
I hope so.
If you were in a relationship, didn't matter. Because you're just gonna go off with, like, dude number 2, and he's gonna hit on you, and you might kiss him, you might not. He's gonna throw his arm around you, and he knows you, his best friend is dating you. No big deal. And then maybe you'll go on to guy number 3.
Tell me what happened tonight with Terry's brother. Did you kiss him or what?
No way.
It was just really weird the way that relationships worked in this movie.
And it was always the women who were trying to have sex. The women were like grabbing the guys like dicks, rubbing their legs, and they're either just, nah, I want to play video games, or like, let's watch a movie. Like, the guys were not interested in doing anything physical. Unless it was a tennis match. Tennis was the game the boys wanted to play. And the girls were looking for a different ball and racket.
Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. Blood Rage was a fun time.
I never had a coconut liqueur. What do? You take it straight or on the rocks?
And I think like having the identical twin situation in an 80s slasher is genius. It's not genius by any means, sorry. I meant like, it's just different. We had excellent gore, we had nudity, and we had great cinematography as well as a dope-ass soundtrack. But there are some really strange situations where we have dialogue that seems to allude to different plot lines which just fizzle off, and some very awkward narration at the beginning. But all in all, it's a really great time, and if you like 80s slashers, you're going to like this one. So I'm gonna give this 3.5 unnecessary pillow throws out of 5.
Blood Rage is definitely a 80s campy slasher film. For those of you who have seen it, you're gonna appreciate the nostalgic value, and for those of you who have not seen it, I think you're gonna get a kick out of it because it's actually a really fun film. And if you watch it with your buddy, you're gonna have an even better time because you're gonna be talking about the movie because there is a lot to talk about. Because the development of the characters and the story direction isn't the best, but you do get some really good gore, and you get a really cool killer who is comedic in nature and really serious and intimidating at times, that everything he does is believable and entertaining. Plus he plays two characters, Terry and Todd, and I felt the film did a good job having both of them interact with each other in this movie. I really think everyone should go check this film out. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this film 3.5 tall glasses of milk out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, there are links in the description where you can find it. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond, and have yourselves a very happy Thanksgiving.